Good evening.
Good evening.
I'll call this meeting to order. Our first order of business is to adopt tonight's agenda. Commissioners, is there a motion to adopt the final agenda for tonight?
So moved.
Motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Our next order of business is to adopt the minutes from our November 19th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. Commissioners, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Yeah, motion and a second.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. We are now moving on to our discussion items. Our only item for discussion tonight is item 3.1. Consider a conditional use permit amendment for ENKI Brewing at 1495 Stieger Lake Lane. This item does include a public hearing. I will now turn it over to City Planner Brian McCain for staff presentation, and then open a public hearing for those in the chamber that wish to speak on the request.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. Tonight we have a request from ENKI Brewing Company. They're looking to amend their existing conditional use permit at 1495 Stieger Lake Lane. This resolution number is number 15-79. Now, what they're looking at specifically doing is changing their liquor license and their use of the property from a microbrewery to a brew pub. So through the CUP amendment process, we have an application that was submitted early November. Their 60 days expires on January 7th. Staff review the proposed amendment, and then we bring it to the Planning Commission with a public hearing, and then City Council would consider the recommendation from the public hearing after that meeting. So the existing conditions of the site, as I mentioned, it's located at 1495 Stieger Lake Lane. Their operations as a microbrewery currently include a tap room, some food service. They also brew malt liquor served on site, as well as distributing that malt liquor to local stores or local liquor stores and restaurants, and they also hold outdoor events. What the proposed amendment would entail is an operation as a brew pub instead of a microbrewery. What that would entail is ceasing the distribution aspect of their business, so they wouldn't be allowed to distribute to liquor stores and restaurants as part of their change in liquor licensure, but they would also be allowed to sell wine and distilled spirits on site. With that, the amending conditions that we have proposed for you this evening, which were included in the staff report, include complying with the original conditions of the resolution from 2015. Their beer production is still limited to 15,000 barrels per year, which is in line with the state licensure requirements and our zoning code requirements, as well as updating their liquor license within the next year, and that the use must be initiated by 1 year from approval of the city council meeting, which is planned for Monday evening. So 1 year from December 9th, not November 25th, like I had originally stated in the packet. With that, a public hearing is required for this. We noticed it in the Waconia Sun-Patriot, as well as sending a mailer to property owners within 350 feet of the property. It was also on the city's website and posted at City Hall. At the time of, right now, we haven't received any comments received. I have a sample motion for you on the screen to approve, table, or deny the request. The applicant is in the audience this evening, and staff can stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Brian. Does the applicant wish to speak?
I don't need to make this a longer meeting than necessary, but if you have questions,
Okay,
I'm happy to answer any questions.
all right, thank you. I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the chambers this evening that wish to comment on this item? Seeing no one in the chambers, commissioners, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
May I have a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries and the public hearing is closed. I will now open the floor for the Planning Commission to discuss. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
I have a question. So right now, ENKI Brewery distributes its products commercially, and you would cease to do that?
Correct.
So it would no longer be able to be off sale at other liquor stores or anywhere else except for buying it at the brewery?
That's correct.
Got it.
Just to build on Ben's question, and not to invade your business decision-making,
Hey, John.
is there a,
Come up.
is there a way to have both brew pub licensure and to continue distribution? Because I don't mind going to Winchester and Rye and ordering an ENKI beer.
Yeah, no, there's no way to do both. It's an either or. So the exchange is, we make the tap room environment more desirable. You know, we have a lot of customers that don't come because someone in the group doesn't want to drink beer. They would like to have a glass of wine or a cocktail, and we can't serve that customer base. Not that you asked, but we've been moving in this direction for quite some time, and we have not put any effort into distribution for at least 3 or 4 years. We have Winchester and Rye and the Borough that buy our beer. We've stopped canning, so we really don't distribute to liquor stores. We haven't distributed to liquor stores for several years. So we're not giving up too much in the way of distribution business in order to facilitate this change.
Fair enough.
Are there other brew pubs or breweries that also sell wine and liquor?
Essentially, all of them do. Yeah.
Would you be able to license that out to have someone brew your beer and sell it commercially?
I suppose I could. I hadn't really.
It's not restricted by any of the stuff we're doing here, right?
It would be I would be licensing out the name.
Right.
It would be somebody else's beer if it was brewed someplace else. They could brew it to our recipe. So from a consumer perspective, it would be essentially the same thing. But from a legality perspective, it would not be ENKI's own
Got it.
product.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
But if you could,
Yeah.
I mean, let's say, if somebody brought a growler to you, could you fill it?
Oh, yes, we can sell growlers and crowlers on premise, so you can still get your ENKI beer to go.
Then you can bring it to Winchester and Rye.
Well, I don't.
Corking
I'm
fee.
not sure you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
It's more from the legal standpoint. Is this just off sale or is this on sale or both or just on?
I believe this is just on sale, correct?
Well, not from what you just said.
So,
Yeah, no.
right now, we have an on-sale license that allows us to sell ENKI beer. We have an off-sale license for ENKI beer only, and we have a Sunday license that allows us to sell on Sundays. We would have all those licenses with this change to a brew pub. What we would be able to do is, for off-sale, we can still only off-sale beer that we make on premise, but we would have on sale, I know it's kind of, on sale for ENKI beer, other beer, wine and spirits, and Sundays as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was code or business side of things, just from.
Brian, this might be a question for you. Assuming we approve and move forward, it has stipulation about the licensures. Is like update liquor license. Could that still impact their decision to do this? Assuming we approve everything.
It's really changing it just with the state from a microbrewery to a brew pub, and we just want that change reflected with the state within the next year. So they would be allowed to continue as a microbrewery until such time that they decide to operate as a brew pub and get their licensure from the state.
They couldn't get like denied from that, and then they'd have to come back and go through a bunch of hoops again?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any more questions?
From my perspective and experience, ENKI's been a wonderful part of Victoria as a community, and I fully support approval.
Can I get a motion?
I would like to make a motion to recommend the city council approve the CUP amendment to ENKI Brewing Company at 1495 Steiger Lake Lane.
Got a motion? Could I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. That concludes our discussion items for this evening. Moving on to the miscellaneous section of our agenda. Are there any miscellaneous items from staff?
Yeah, I've got a few items. At the last meeting, I mentioned how Christian Pedersen has been elected to our city council. With that, we have a role to fill on our planning commission for a full-time voting member. So Aaron has accepted that position as our alternate one, and Jason
Great.
has also agreed to move up to the alternate number one position in his replacement.
Terrific.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Yeah, and then we will recruit for the alternate number two position with council in the new year as well.
Okay.
Our next two meetings are December 17th and January 7th. We do have items for both of those meetings. The one for December 17th includes an appeal of a zoning decision by city staff on a building permit. You would be acting as a board of adjustments and appeals in that situation, which is probably new for a lot of you. I know it's new for myself as well. So I would like to try to schedule about a 15-minute phone call with each of you in the next week or two to talk through what that entails based on our code requirements and the specifics of the situation, if you all are willing to do that. And then our January 7th meeting is the preliminary plat for the Quick Trip site in our South Growth area. And then Jen also wanted me to mention that this Thursday at 5:30 is Light Up Victoria, so please attend with your families if you can. It's going to be a fun evening. And that is all from staff.
Thank you. Commissioners, any miscellaneous items? Hearing no more items this evening, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn this.
Got a motion, could I get a second?
Second.
A motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. We are adjourned.
Shortest meeting in